Do you remember your first day at school? I certainly do. Was it a good positive experience or was it a little bit negative? It's certainly something that most people remember throughout their lives. So it is important to help support your child on their first day at school. And I'm here to help you help your child go into school on their very first day and have a wonderful time that they will treasure for the rest of their lives. Now, stay here until the end because I'm also going to tell you what this little fellow is all about. Hello, and my name is Tamsin, and I run the website theonlychildclub.net, and I'm dedicated to supporting you and your gorgeous one-child family, helping you all to grow, flourish, and live life to the full. So what was your first day at school like? Can you remember it really vividly? I was blessed with a really good teacher in my first year. Her name was Mrs. Allwright, which is the perfect name for a primary school teacher. And she was all right. She had the most massive, giant jar of sweeties next to her on the carpet on the floor where we would sit down and she would go through the alphabet with us, and if you got a question right, you get a sweetie. All right, maybe a little bit bribery there.
That's outright bribery.
I don't think teachers do that so much, but it was very effective and I was able to learn the ABC that way, so I'm not going to criticise her on that. However, I do remember during lunchtime on my first day at school, I was looking for my brother. He was in a couple of years older than, no, a few years older than me. And I didn't understand that they had a structure on lunchtimes where the older children, I think, would eat first or would eat second, and the younger children would go to the lunch hall first. So I didn't understand that he was probably having lunch when I was looking for him. And I got really scared. I had, I don't know, issues about being abandoned or something like that. I don't know. I just got scared that he'd already gone home and I was there and I was looking for him everywhere, and I just remember getting scared. And believe me, this was a really long time ago. This was in the very early 80s when I had this experience, and I still remember it today. So it just goes to show how important the first day at school really is. You're likely to remember it through the rest of your life, especially if it was a little bit traumatic. But you know, people grow out of it, it's fine. I just remember that, and I just remember it being distressing as a very young child. So here are a few top tips to share with you as you prepare your only child to go to school for the first time on their own. Now, the really good thing is that if your child has already been going to nursery, they will have already been introduced to the early years foundation stage, which is the first set in the curriculum. And it's the fun set, it's the play set, it's just learning through play all the time. So it's structured, but most of it is play. So when they go into reception, there's still a heck of a lot of playing going on, which is a good thing because children start at the age of 4, which is incredibly young in my humble opinion. Other countries don't start their children going to school until they're like 7 years old, which is fantastic. If your child is born in the summer, then they may have only just turned 4 when they already start school in September, so they are very, very young. Sops had that experience because her birthday is at the end of July, so she's one of the youngest in her class. And you know what? She's going to be sitting her GCSEs when she's 15 years old. Crazy, hey? Okay, so what I've done just to help you out here is there is a blog post all about going back to school, and I go through every single year group. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about reception. But if your child is going to start in another year group, there's a lot of information there. There's also information if they are moving over to secondary school from year 6 into year 7. So definitely go onto there. There's also another video that I recorded just last week and I put out last week. So if you haven't bought all the equipment for your child, if they're going to year 7, then by all means, go onto that video and have a look. Now, your child is going into reception their first day of school. That's why you're watching this video. But if you know anyone whose child is going to year 7, by all means, show them this video. And that video, and when your child is old enough to go into year 7, then watch that video. And you might be thinking, my child's just going to reception year 7 is way off. The time goes by so quickly. It goes by so quickly. I cannot believe SOPS is now going to year 11. That's just crazy. So it'll be sooner than you think. Get the tissues out. Right, so going to reception year. Each school do things differently, but generally they tend to stagger it. So your child either before the summer, probably you already visited the school, you've already seen what it looks like. With SOP's school, her primary school, they did this really interesting thing where the teacher came to visit us. The teacher that she was going to have came to visit each house of all the new children, and came to see the house before the child started school, which I think is amazing. I have a funny feeling that happened before the summer holidays, but it may have been early September. I think the reception kids may have started a bit later on. That happens, or what happens is the reception children start first and get used to it, and then all the other children start at a later date. That can happen as well. So schools are very good at helping ease children into school and just get used to what is expected. But yeah, SOP's teacher actually came and visit our house, which is kind of funny because we were going to move house. So there was boxes everywhere and tables and chairs stacked on top of each other. It was absolutely crazy. Right, so here are the key points that I just want to share with you when you're helping prepare your child for school, for their first day at school. Number 1, keep very, very positive about it. No matter what your experiences are of your first day at school, maybe you remember, maybe it was traumatic. Do not tell your child this, okay?
Ever since a particularly traumatic experience as a foe.
Give them lots of positive feedback so they feel excited about it. There'll be a lot of play involved, that they'll be able to make new friends. If your child wants to learn tips about making new friends, I have got a blog post about that. And there's also a YouTube video about how to make new friends. So you can definitely go and have a watch of that with your child so they can learn how to make new friends. A really good tip there. So think about talking to your child about what they're looking forward to with starting school, what their ideas are about school, and keep very positive about that. They could be saying, hey, I'm really excited about making new friends, I'm really excited about learning how to read, and get them excited about the idea of it. The other thing is, and I'm sure you've already got this, but make sure you have a very clear bedtime routine. You might have to obviously adapt it from whatever it was during the summer, maybe for whatever it was before the summer. I imagine your child has already been going to, say, nursery, so you've already got something of a routine. You might want to stick to the same routine as when it goes to going to nursery. Just make sure you've got a really stable, rigid kind of bedtime routine for when your child goes to school, so they know where they're at and they also have plenty of sleep. The other thing you need to be doing is keep communicating with your child about it. Don't keep bringing it up, but if your child brings it up, then listen to them, listen to their concerns, reassure them all the time, but keep communicating about that. I do not remember, although it was a very long time ago, I do not remember this being a thing. I feel like I was just kind of thrown to school. It was expected, but I was a little bit of a absolute complete space cadet when I was little. Still am a little bit.
Hey, space cadet, down here.
So maybe everyone did tell me, hey, this is what to expect when you go to school. I just kind of followed my brothers. This is the thing, okay? That because I had older siblings, I just followed them. I just learned from them. I followed them. Because your child does not have that. You're the ones who have to be reassuring and telling your child what to expect as parents. That's what this whole YouTube channel is about. That is what the blog is all about. helping you support your child, because they do not have the older siblings to help them through this. I hope that makes sense. So you keep communicating with it. The other thing is, read to your child as you're preparing them to start their first day at school and in their very first year. Keep reading to your child. Go upstairs at bedtime, reading a book, but you can sort of run your fingers underneath the lines, underneath the words, so the child can follow it as you're reading. They might not fully understand it, but they can understand that you're reading what's being written, even though they might not be able to understand it initially. Keep reading to your child. Absolutely fantastic. Another thing you might want to do as well is create a scrapbook. We did not do this, but I know that some people do that, and some schools do this. Sops Nursery did this, actually. It was really good. It was a scrapbook of her activities, and she put together, you know, some of her artwork that she had done into the scrapbook, and there were photos and just a bit of a journal of what she was doing. This is something you may want to do with your child, gathering all their work that they've done at school and put together a scrapbook that they can have a look at later on as they grow up. Okay, and then the rest of that blog is actually about all the other year groups. So again, go into that blog post, have a look about all the other year groups, and you'll get to learn a little bit more. A few other little tidbits: label everything, every single thing. Your child does not need pens, pencils, glue, scissors, anything like that. Primary schools provide all of those things. You don't need to do that. Just make sure water bottle is labelled, lunch bag is labelled. If you have to take your child in and they have to have sun cream, I suggest a roll-on sun cream. It's easier for your child to put on. Label that. Label gloves, label coats, label PE kits, label the lot. There are some good labelling companies that you can go on and just get them all sent off. I recommend the ones that you iron on as opposed to the ones you sew on. We did use the ones you sew on. They're quite good because you can cut them off and then sell the uniform, but it's also a real hassle sewing it all on. It's a lot quicker and easier just to iron it, and you can sort of pull it off later on if you need to, but definitely absolutely label everything. I think that's pretty much everything else. I've got another link to school uniform company that you can go on to if you're looking for good affordable school uniforms as well for your child. Right, so I said to you, that was a very quick video today. I said to you that I promised I would let you know what this little guy is about. So I've got some really exciting news. This is the prize for our competition, where your child has to draw a picture of Lucy and Gabriel on their latest adventure in China. So if your child would like to win this little panda bear, all you have to do is go onto the website, sign up for our e-newsletter, and you can get the summer activity book. It is not too late. In fact, it is not too late, because I am going to extend the competition date until the end of September. So your child has a little bit more time to get that picture in. I can't wait to see them. The story is here in the summer book. Lucy and Gabriel's Adventures in China. Really lovely story, if I say so myself. So they go back in time and they meet the philosopher Confucius. So your child can learn all about that. There's other things in the activity book. There's puzzles and other games and colouring in. So it's something that your child will enjoy doing during September and during the summer, the rest of the summer, if you like. But there's not much of a summer left. So if they want to win this gorgeous little thing, then please do download the summer activity book. They can read the story and then they can enter the competition. Well, I'm going to finish there, and I will do another video next week, again in connection with school and education, to help your child prepare for when they go back to school. Toodles!